album or, or that album. To me, The Chronic was as big on the West Coast as, or should I say, as big in California as Ready to Die was in New York. You know what I'm saying? And then Life After Death was just so monumental. That was actually a national broad base about Biggie Smalls, and it was a double album it wasn't just like, most double albums you're like, yeah, well, the first CD was good, but the second one wasn't. It was a double album that you could actually literally put in and just let it ride out. So to be like Big ain't one of the best rappers ever. To the stuff that he says, from the stories to the, just the way he did it without writing anything down, I think hands down he's got to be in the top.
Right. Yeah, that means skill-wise. You know what I mean? So Sluggo made a point and said that we have to quantify what our determination is in greatness. Like, what do we? Because everybody, I think that's what it is. It's subjective to what people consider as great. You know what I'm saying? Is it album sales? Is it whatever? Now, the funny thing is, he also made a point about, he was like, Biggie also, he says, and this is funny because this guy loves to say some controversial shit, but he said that Biggie is responsible for why we now have all of this, what do you call it, the commercial, what's the word? Everything is brand based, and everybody's riding around and Bugattis and all that shit. He was like, that was started by Biggie because he was like, when you had Wu-Tang, you had Redman, everything was grimy at that point. And then when Biggie came out with his video and everybody in yachts and shit, and you know what I'm saying, rolling in the sports cars and shit blowing up behind him, and him rocking the Versace jackets, and this drink Cristal and all that type of shit. He was like, that was what changed and where hip hop went after that. He was like, there were people actually dissing Biggie, such as the Roots made a song dissing Biggie. Wu-Tang made a song dissing Biggie.
What they do.
Yeah.
What they do.
Right. Wu-Tang made a song dissing Biggie. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, okay, he was like, just because the man died, now why are we crowning him now? You know what I'm saying? But he was like, he was like, even though he was lyrical, but he felt like he was a destructive part of hip hop since then. That was what he said, man. He's like, you consider him your greatest?
Now, actually, that isn't a true statement. See, a lot of people just see what they see on the outside, and they think that's where it comes from. But if you want me to be honest, Jay-Z kind of started that.
Okay.
On Ready to Die, Big, he wasn't talking none of that player stuff. I mean, maybe a little bit on Big Papa,
right.
But the rest of the album was straight gritty, gutter, gully.
Right.
Biggie never wanted to be on the player shit. It was Puff that edged him that way. It was like, Big, all this gutter stuff is cool, but I can't sell that without, a single, without a proper single or two, maybe three. Jay-Z on his very first video, you know what I'm saying? He's on a yacht, champagne and all of that, and they funded all that themselves. He had his bubble-eyed Lexus in the Dead President's video. You know what I'm saying? And that was his. It wasn't like a prop that they didn't rent it or nothing. That was actually his. Jay-Z was talking about taking shots of Louis the 13th. You know what I'm saying? And I remember on that song with Young Jock and T-Pain, Buy You a Drink, that came out in the late 2000s. Man, Jay-Z was talking about Louis the 13th on Reasonable Doubt. Jay-Z was really the first one up from like New York at least, to really come with that flashy, you know what I'm saying, Versace, all of that stuff. Biggie just took it to another level because, he was with Puff, and they just flooded the market, and they had all of the publicity, you know what I'm saying? So it really wasn't Big who started that. He just took it to a next level. And another thing, people talk about Jay-Z, and, oh, yeah, well, he used to borrow. Greggo said he just waking up. He'll probably call in soon.
G is up, too.
Bite off of Jay-Z, bite off of Biggie rhymes and all that. People don't realize Jay-Z was actually Biggie Small's favorite rapper. He literally said that in Vibe magazine.
Wow.
Yeah, he's like, my favorite rapper is Jay-Z. And it was the same, and they do the same thing. Neither one of them ever wrote their own lyrics. They were actually friends. They were going to come out with a group, the Commission. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
So my thing is, like, look, man, people see things in hip-hop, or they hear a rumor here, and it sounds true. So they run with it, but you actually got to do a little bit more digging. So, Biggie wasn't responsible for all of that. But, I mean, we can sit here and say that it was the downfall of hip-hop, but was it really? When hip-hop first started, it was about parties and girls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then we switched it, and then, it was about the streets. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
Big was just the first one on a major platform level to do both. He's talking about the streets, and he's also talking about partying and, being a player and females and what, so I thought it was actually good for hip-hop.
Right. So it looks like G is up. He'll be dialing in a second, too. Hold on. RC says something good.
Hey, G and Greggo too late. When you go to court, and you go to fight a ticket and the cop ain't there, you automatically win your case. The cop's not there. He ain't there to defend himself. They ain't
here to defend themselves. Damn it, we won. That's right. You right about that, man. These dudes here, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna set them up before they even get in this bitch. All right. So Greggo is quote unquote just on the edge of a millennial. So the music and everybody has their opinion of what type of music they listen to. You know what I'm saying? He was here in the South, so he listened to a lot of the music out of the South. When I play my South playlists. He loves a lot of the stuff that's on there. Ludacris, T.I., Jeezy, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with them because I like them as well. 8-Ball, MJG, that type of stuff. So he said that in the era of the time when he came up, he felt that he clung more to West Coast style hip hop in the South. He said he wasn't really feeling a lot of stuff coming from the East Coast at that time. You know what I'm saying? So he necessarily wasn't a fan of the old Dirty Bastards and Biggie and Jay-Z, and he damn sure said some blasphemous stuff about KRS-One. This is Greggo I'm talking about now.
G. Oh, Greggo.
Yeah, Greggo. Now G, aka Glenn, he grew up the same time, the same area as me. So he has a wider variety of musical taste, and he actually had all these albums. He had Biggie, he had Wu-Tang, Redman was his favorite artist, all this type of stuff. So even though he makes these blasphemous statements, he listened to this stuff, and I guess he has, formed this opinion later on in life, because he was like every one of us as far as listening to this stuff. But I can't wait to get on here to say some of this blasphemous stuff that he even said, like Rakim. You know what I mean? I mean, like, Rakim is the God, man. It's like, his Rakim statement is about as bad as Greggo and his KRS-One statement. You know what I mean?
I would tell you the greatest lyric to me that was ever, and mind you, this is back in the 80s, man. And Rakim said, I take 7 MCs, put them in a line. What he said, I take 7 MCs, put them in a line. Take 7 more cats who think they can rhyme. Now, to take 7 more before I go for mine. Now, that's 21 MCs ate up at the same time. Rakim.
That's true. I just saw a piece on.
At the same time.
I just saw a piece of a documentary. I saw a documentary that hey, how do you unmute out of there too? On the
star 6.
Okay.
Star 6.
He might have called in. You don't know how to star 6 out. Hold on. Star 6 to unmute. Okay. So I saw a documentary, man, on Rakim, and the Rakim documentary. It was like a little 5-minute joint that you see. I think it was on I don't know, something on Facebook, but it pretty much was following him around and how he got started and stuff, and the way that he wrote his lyrics, man, was so impressive, because he was speaking that some people might see like a little boy walking down the street and they'll have a perception of it. So he said his perception of the little boy walking down the street was he put himself in the mind of the little boy, like his perception, like what is this little dude seeing as he's walking down the street? What is his view? What is his, what I'm saying? That's how he came at it. You know what I'm saying? He came at a whole nother level at that time. You know what I'm saying? You could just say little boy walking down the street, but he's thinking, okay, little boy growing up in the mean streets here on the corners, this and this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the way his perception was of the storytelling was a lot different from people at that time. You know what I'm saying? And they called him the God MC. You know what I'm saying? He was Rakim Allah. And he was saying that Ra, you know what I'm saying, was, Egyptian royalty. And then Kim was the land of the burnt faces, Egypt. So that's how he ended up putting both of them together. But yeah, I think saying Rakim is not one of the greatest is a blasphemous statement as well to me. That's just what I say. And,
that is. But the thing about Greggo, Greggo's my guy. He's my fat man, but we ain't on my show. So realistically speaking, you can't, if you didn't listen to any of that music, you really can't be a judge on that type of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, all right, well, I grew up and all I listened to was the South and the West Coast, so, Biggie, like, I didn't really like those. Like, if you didn't like them, then you really can't. If you didn't like them, that means to me, you didn't take the time to actually listen to what they had to say. Now, me, of course, I listen to all types of hip-hop. Of course, it starts with the New York rap. But, my stepfather, he put me on the UGK when I was young. And then we moved to Virginia. I learned about 8-Ball and MJG, Outkast, Goody Mob. Goody Mob was my favorite group for so damn long. Outside of Wu-Tang, it didn't even make sense. Right. Goody Mob, you got the Ghetto Boys, you got Scarface, you got NWA, you got Snoop, you got so many, you got MC8. You got so many guys, and you to me, you got to be able to listen to all of it and appreciate all of it before you can start saying, all right, well, I'm going to rank him above him or I'm going to rank them above them. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of hard really to rank because, like Snuggle said, it depends on what you're basing your criteria on. Is it just strictly rap skills, or is it, battlesmanship, or is it record sales, or is it, how long longevity in the career? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, but back to earlier, what we were saying about Biggie and about how he didn't have it, he only did 2 albums. But, years after his death, they still playing his songs. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not playing Soulja Slim. You know what I mean?
That's true.
They're not playing a lot of they're not playing nothing with Freaky Ty on it like that. Maybe on his birthday they might play some Lost Boys, but they don't even really play Big L like that.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? But they still playing Big to this day. So how could you not say that he's one of the greats?
I never said he's one of the greats.
Oh, he's here now.
I think y'all have my argument misconstrued. I apologize for being late, but I figured I'd give y'all a head start.
Oh, you needed a head start.
No, you needed a head start. I'm glad you went ahead and laid the foundation for me, so I could go ahead and come on here. But I've been listening because I couldn't figure out how to unmute this thing. Technology is not my friend this morning. But what I was saying is, I agree with your point, and I don't want people to misconstrue it because obviously it's been getting misconstrued that I said Biggie is trash and Biggie is garbage. I never said that. The argument that I pose is he is heralded as one of the top 5 rappers ever, and I disagree. It's just that simple. I don't think he's the best rapper.
Where do you put him?
1, 2, 3, or 5. And I believe he's squeaking in the top 10.
All right, so since you said squeaking in the top 10, I want you, if you can, off the top of your head, I know you're probably just still getting your faculties in order. Name me 7 more that you put before him.
Yes, I like to hear that.
KRS-One.
I'm about to play the Jeopardy music on you.
Kanye.
Oh no, definitely not Kanye.
Yeah. Kanye. Which to me, Kanye is probably the best. But that, like I said,
what premises do you have for that? Is that your personal preference?
Hold on. Let me lay this down for y'all before y'all go there, cause Snuggle made a good point on what's your criteria for your top 10. And that's what he said. He said,
Yeah, that's what. Okay, put it this way. I'm the one that made the argument. I'll tell you the criteria of